We'll start the next chapter, chapter 2. The chapter name is Basic Accounting Terms. Since this subject is entirely a new subject for you, we'll start with some basic terms. So the first term that we are going to discuss is business transaction. I had explained the meaning. Business transaction. Transaction means the activities that take place in the business. And when we say activities, we must say specifically the financial transaction or financial activities or events taking place in the business. Because we know that accounting will consider only monetary matters or transactions which can be expressed in money terms. So financial transactions or events entered into between two parties. And that will result in a change in financial position. And this transaction will be having, almost all transaction will be having two aspects, a debit aspect and a credit aspect. So these are the points which you can explain under this term. Accounting transaction or business transaction means it is a financial transaction, that means expressed in money terms, and it is entered into between two parties. There would be a buyer, there would be a seller, and it will result in change in financial position. Financial position, from where will you get? From the balance sheet. It shows the assets and liabilities. This transaction will result in change in assets and liabilities of the firm. Then the transaction, every transaction will be having two aspects, a debit aspect and a credit aspect. Then every business transaction we can divide into two, that is cash transaction and credit transaction, that we already discussed. Cash transaction means immediately you will have to pay the amount. If you are purchasing, suppose you are selling goods, then immediately that person, the customer, has to pay us. If it is credit transaction, immediately payment need not be done. You can take a time period of say 1 week, 1 month as agreed between the buyer and the seller. Only after that time you need to pay the amount. Or if you are selling goods, you will allow the credit period and the customer need to pay only after that time. So this is the meaning of the first accounting term, that is business transactions. You can explain all these points. The second and important term in accounting is capital, and that we discussed already under that users of accounting information. What is the meaning of capital? Now you would be knowing. Capital is the amount invested by the owner, or if it is a partnership firm, it is the amount invested by partners. That is the meaning of capital. And sometimes they will invest in the form of cash, or sometimes they will start in the form of assets. Like suppose Rahul started business with cash of 10 lakhs. We discussed such a transaction before. That is a business transaction, and this 10 lakh is the capital here. Similarly, if he wants, he can start the business with an asset of rupees 10 lakhs. Understood? So the owner can start the business, or he can invest the amount either in the form of cash or in the form of assets. Assets which is having a monetary value. That is important. Don't simply say asset. Asset must be expressed in money terms, then only you can record it in your books. When you say he started business with assets, this is not a business transaction, because the main point under business transaction is it should be financial. That means to be expressed in money terms. Now we'll discuss what is the nature of capital. Basically, capital is a liability. Now you would be wondering how capital is becoming a liability. Usually students say not only students, from a layman's point of view, capital will be considered as an asset, isn't it? Capital is something which the firm is getting, then how it is becoming a liability. But now onwards, if somebody asks you what's the nature of capital, now being commerce students, capital is always a liability for you. Who are you? You are the firm. And from your firm's point of view, capital is a liability according to business entity concept. Business entity concept says that the owner and the business, that means the firm, are two separate entities. They are having separate entities, or transactions will be recorded separately for these two. Are you the owner? No. Whenever I say you or what are your transactions, you have to think from the firm's point of view. You are not the owner, you are the business. So think from business point of view. So owner and business, actually in real situation we are considering them as one and the same. Owner and business we can't separate actually, isn't it? Because business means it is just an artificial person. It is not having any physical existence. So for accounting point of view, we have to consider owner and business as two separate entities, and the capital invested by the owner into the business will become a liability for the business. Why? At the time of winding up of the business, at the time of closure of the business has to return this capital back to the owner. So it is payable amount. We have to pay this amount later to the owner. So from business point of view, you are the business always. From your point of view, this is a liability. Understood? So capital is something which the owner invests, and since we are following business entity concept, from accounting point of view, these two are separate entities. And from business, yes, for the business, this capital will become a liability, because at the time of winding up, the business has to pay this money back to the owner. The amount payable means it is a liability. Understood? So capital is always a liability for the business as per business entity concept, or it is also known as separate entity concept. Business entity concept or separate entity concept. Now there is another name for capital. Capital is also known as net worth or owner's equity. Capital is also known as net worth or owner's equity. It is something invested by the owner. So it is owner's equity, or it is also known as net worth. So that is the second accounting term, which is very much important also. Then third one we'll discuss drawings. We'll be using all these terms when we start problems. So you must be thorough with these theory portions. Yes, drawings means something withdrawn, isn't it? So the amount withdrawn by the owner for his personal use is called drawings. Amount withdrawn by the owner from where? From the business for his personal use. Personal use, that term is very important. Suppose yours is a furniture shop and the owner purchased furniture for rupees 1 lakh. Can we treat this as drawings? Is this drawings? First of all, is it a business transaction? Yes, it is a business transaction because we can express in money terms. But is this drawings? No, this transaction is not drawings because we don't have this particular word. That is, it is not for personal use. Nothing is mentioned means it is for the firm's purpose. Yours is furniture shop, so you are purchasing and then reselling. So purchased furniture for rupees 1 lakh. This is for the firm only, not for your personal purpose. So this is a business transaction, not drawings. But if you add one word with this, for his own use, for his own use. That means for his personal use or private use. He has purchased a furniture for his own use means this will now become drawings. Understood? The amount withdrawn or the goods withdrawn by the proprietor means the owner, by the proprietor for his personal use is known as drawings. It can be amount, he can withdraw assets also. Just like the owner starts business with cash or with assets, the owner can withdraw either in the form of cash or in the form of assets. And drawings will result in reduction in capital. When he withdraws amount from the business, what is getting reduced? There will be a reduction in capital if there is drawings. Okay. Then next term what we can discuss is fourth term, liability. So many times we referred this. Liability. Liability means the obligation of the business. Now we can say the meaning as amount payable. When you write this word, be very careful. Liability means the amount payable by the business. Don't write amount paid by the business. If it is already paid, it is no more a liability for you. So payable amounts are liability. Capital is a liability because it is to be paid to the owner at the time of winding up. So it is payable again. Understood? It's not paid. Paid is never a liability. Payable is liability. So amount payable by the business or amount owed by the business. Owed means we have to pay it. Owed by the business is termed as liability. We have internal liability and external liability. Internal liability and external liability. As the name indicates, internal means the liability towards internal people. Internal people means towards the owner, and that liability is capital. So capital is an internal liability. The liability towards owner is known as internal liability, and the example is capital. So what can be external liability? Liability towards outside parties other than owners. All will come under external. Like your bank loan. When you take a bank loan, so liability towards bank is external. Then the amount you have to pay your creditor. Creditor means somebody who would have supplied goods on credit. We have to pay them. So creditor is also a liability, but they are external liability. Understood? Then what we can say is bills payable. Okay, bills payable we'll discuss under current and non-current liabilities. Now for the time being, you just learned these two. Internal liability means towards the owner, that is capital, and external liability means towards outsiders or external parties other than owners. So bank loan, creditors can be written as examples. Now the most important classification of liability is, liability can be classified mainly into two. This is what you remember, what you need to remember the most. That is non-current liability and current liability. Non-current liability and current liability. Non-current or current. Current means now itself. The liabilities or the amount payable within a period of 1 year. within a period of 1 year or 12 months, that is called current liability. Immediately we have to pay. Currently or now itself we have to settle it. Such liabilities are known as current liabilities. Then, so non-current liabilities will be liabilities or the amount payable only after a period of 1 year. These two differences you must learn very carefully. Non-current means now you don't have to pay. You can pay only after a period of 1 year. You need to pay only after a period of 1 year, whereas current liability means now itself means within a period of 1 year you have to settle it. Examples of non-current liability. Example what we can write is bank loan. Suppose you took a bank loan. Are we paying it within a period of 1 year? See, as individuals also we are taking bank loan. Are we going to pay it back within a period of 1 year? Usually no. Bank loans will not be repaid immediately because it would be a huge amount which you are taking and you might take 5 or 6 years to repay that. So, bank loan is usually considered as non-current liability. But if you specifically say like short-term bank loan, that is current liability. Short-term bank loan means it is current. Within a period of 1 year, you have to pay. If nothing is mentioned, whether it is short-term or long-term, consider it as long-term. That means it is non-current liability. Then other non-current liability is capital. Why? Capital will be returned to the owner only at the time of winding up or only at the time of closure. So normally a business will not shut down its operations within a period of 1 year. So capital will become a non-current liability. Only after 1 year we will have to pay it back. Then under current liability we can write creditors here. Creditors means the people to whom we have to pay money because they would have supplied goods on credit. And that settlement also should be done within a period of 1 year. Creditors are normally short term in nature, that is current liability. Then along with creditors we can write one more term, that is bills payable. Bills payable means it is a bill. It's a document which shows the amount we have to pay the creditor. Suppose you purchase goods for rupees 30,000. Meaning is we have to pay 30,000 to Mohan, previous transaction. So that amount of 30,000 will be mentioned in the bill. So it shows the amount to be paid to creditors. So bills payable is also a liability and it is a current liability. We have to settle it within a period of 1 year. Okay. So this is the classification and meaning of liability. So liability, when we discuss, immediately we have to discuss is the fifth point, next one. After liability we have to discuss assets. Yes, fifth one. So fifth one, assets. Assets and liabilities are shown in one financial statement, that is balance sheet. Now what is asset? Asset means the properties owned by the business. It is not owned, it is owned. What we have. As individuals also we will be having so many assets. The properties owned by the business is known as asset. And these properties will help the business to earn cash or to earn economic benefits. Because if you have a particular asset, as individuals you would be having land, car, building, etc. All these are assets not only for individuals, for the firm also. And if you sell these assets, what will you get? You will be getting cash in return. So assets means properties owned by the business and it will help the business to earn an economic benefit. That is to earn cash. Assets we can classify as non-current assets and current assets. Non-current assets and current assets. Yes, so just like liability, we divide assets as two. There is one more classification. First, we'll discuss this non-current and current assets. So just like we discussed liability, we'll discuss this asset section. Current assets means it will be held by the business only for a period of 1 year. Meaning is it will be sold immediately. Immediately means within a period of, we'll be selling it. It will be converted into cash immediately. These are the points which you can write here. Current assets will be having that particular asset only for a period of 1 year. By that time, we will resell that particular asset. So, it will be converted into cash. When you sell, you will be getting cash. It will be converted into cash immediately within a period of 1 year. Example, what you can write under current asset is cash in hand, what we have in our hand. Then cash at bank, usually we will separate it like this, cash in hand and cash at bank. Then what we can write next is stock, the stock of goods which you have, that is a current asset because immediately you will sell it. Then debtors and bills receivable. Just like creditors, we have a term called debtors. Creditors means to whom we have to pay. So debtors means from whom we have to receive. Suppose you sold, you need to write only the example. This is just for you to understand this portion. Sold goods to Ram for rupees 20,000 and it's on credit. So will Ram pay the amount now? No. Since it is on credit, he will pay it only on a later date. So Ram is termed as debtor, from whom we have to receive the amount. Don't get confused between creditor and debtor. Study it very carefully. Debtor means from whom we have to receive the money. And the amount which is mentioned, the bill means it is the document in which amount receivable from debtor would be mentioned. Just the opposite of bills payable. There, that bill shows the amount we have to pay the creditors. Bills receivable shows the amount which we have to get from debtors. And debtors, bills receivable, all these will come under current asset because we have to get the amount within a period of 1 year. Now we will discuss what is this should be pronounced as debtors. It is not debtors. D is silent there. There is B here, D-E-B-T. It is a debt. But don't pronounce it as debtors. It is debtors. Next one is non-current assets, or we can call them as fixed assets. It is long-term in nature. Meaning is, it will be held by the business for more than 1 year. Can be 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, etc. So, fixed assets or non-current means immediately will not be sold. Immediately it will not be converted into cash. Just the opposite of current assets you can write. So, such assets are called fixed assets or non-current assets. It will be there with the business. Business will hold that asset for a period of more than 1 year and it will not be sold immediately. It is not getting converted into cash immediately. Fixed assets, again there is classification for this. Tangible, Fixed assets can be classified into two fixed or non-current assets, tangible and intangible. Tangible means assets which we can see and touch. Example, which we can see and touch. Example, land, the building which you have, the furniture which you have, machinery, computer, all these are fixed assets. That all these are non-current assets. That means these will not be sold immediately, and at the same time all these are tangible in nature, which we can see, and at the same time we can touch also. Such assets are known as tangible, which we can see and touch. This is the classification of non-current assets or fixed assets. Intangible means which we can't see and touch. Example, what we can say is patents, trademarks, software, computer software, we can't see, we can't touch. Then patents, trademarks, goodwill. All these are examples of intangible, which we can't see and touch, but it is a non-current asset for you. Patents means exclusive right over a particular product. If you have invented a product or an item, you would be having exclusive right on that. That is your asset, but it is intangible in nature, which we can't see and touch. Trademarks means, see, the best example is for Nike, there is a symbol like this. Isn't it? This is the trademark or the symbol of this particular brand, Nike. So, similarly, trademarks means it is the symbol that denotes a particular product, and that is again your intangible asset. Then software, goodwill means the good reputation of your firm, the good name of your firm. Again, that is asset, but it is intangible. We can't see and touch. And the third classification of asset is, which I didn't write first, we just wrote non-current and current assets. Yes. The third classification is, I'll write here the third classification of asset is fictitious assets. So, assets are basically classified into three: non-current, current and fictitious. Fictitious assets. Fictitious means they are not real assets. That's called fictitious. They are neither tangible nor intangible. Then what are they? Neither tangible nor intangible. So, basically, they are not real assets. They are, the basic nature is they are losses, not written off in the year in which it is incurred, but in more than 1 year. That is the meaning of fictitious asset. It is basically a loss, and how loss is an asset for the firm. Just think of business entity concept. You and the owner both are different. When there is a loss for the firm, who will bear this loss? The owner should bear the loss, and from business point of view, the loss is an asset. Understood? Usually people will say loss is a liability for you. But from business point of view, for you people, the loss is always an asset, because loss is to be borne by the owner. All these are according to that particular concept, business entity concept. Don't get confused. So, losses not written off in the year in which it is incurred, but more than 1 year. Like example, what we can write here is preliminary expenses. Preliminary means at the time of starting. Preliminary expenses means expenses you spend for the business at the time of starting of the business or at the time of formation of the business. So, that expense would be a huge amount, and it is a loss for you. It's a kind of a loss because you are spending on that, and that loss will not be written off. Writing off means cancelling or getting eliminated. It will not be cancelled. in the year in which it is incurred. Suppose you spent 10 lakhs this year on preliminary expense as preliminary expenses, but it will not be shown. Entire 10 lakhs will not be shown in the first year. You will take a time period of 10 years or 15 years that you can decide, the firm can decide, and then each year you will be showing only a part of that 10 lakhs. Suppose you are planning to cover it over a period of 10 years. So every year you will be showing only a loss of 1 lakhs. Clear? We have 10 lakhs as loss in total, but every year we will be showing only a loss of 1 lakh. If we show entire 10 lakhs in the first year itself, what will happen? The entire business would be incurring a loss at the end of the year because you are showing more expense the first year itself. So what you are doing is that will be spread over a number of years. Year by year, you will keep on adding 1 lakh. Every year you will be showing 1 lakh. And by 10 years, you can show the entire 10 lakhs. So such losses are called fictitious assets. Basically, they are not real assets, but losses are considered as assets since we are following accounting entity or business entity concept. Okay. So you would have understood now some basic accounting terms, the classification of liabilities and assets, that is very important, non-current and current. So study this portion very carefully.